Thank you, Dr. Basalira. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Become a Better Entrepreneur series. And I would like to thank especially those that have been with us over the years. We have, in the last series, talked about several topics, which I believe have enabled people to go and do things better. And so this morning, we also thought it would be very important that we talk about cash flow. And I was just here thinking about the fact that you may have a very good product or a very good service, a growing customer list, and in fact also be able to make profits on paper, but still be restless, especially wondering if you'd be able to meet perhaps you'd be able to pay salaries or pay rent. And this is because you're running your business, and yes, it's true that you make the profit, but it's not the same as the cash that you have. So there is research that has been conducted showing that 82% of small businesses fail, not because they aren't profitable, but because they run out of cash. So this morning we wanted to talk about this, and we have with us Daniel Choudry, who is a sales and customer experience consultant with expertise in selling a personal brand, solution selling, referral-based selling, data-driven sales performance. He has worked as a consultant for European Investment Bank sponsored training in 7 African countries, successfully trained 19 banks in Uganda. He has founded the only sales institute in East Africa with branches in Uganda, Kenya, South Sudan, and Zimbabwe. He has trained the top 15 manufacturing companies in Uganda and participated in formulating their route to market strategy. He has authored a best-selling book, Becomes a Sales Superstar and Dominate Your Market. He has authored a customer sales planners for different industries. And in fact, he gave me one. Thank you so much, Daniel. He has worked for the Sahant Real Estate Brokers in Montreal, Canada, in the Daniel Choudry Sales Institute, which he founded. He has a training curriculum for training fresh graduates. He gives out certificates. He has trained over 575 salespeople since 2018. I mean, I can talk and talk about Daniel. He also worked for Toyota Kenya, and he holds a bachelor's degree in business administration with a marketing major from Makerere University in 2011, and also a master's degree in business administration with a marketing major from McMaster University in Canada in 2013. He is an International Coaching Federation student in the 2022 cohort, which is also ongoing. Daniel is very well known to me, and we in the last 1 week did amazing training sessions for our sales team that works at MTN Uganda, and we are already seeing results. Daniel, I would like to thank you very much for accepting to come and share your experience, especially on cash flow and what your experience is with cash flow in your business and what the other entrepreneurs can take away. Thank you. Welcome. 40 minutes is what you have to share. We shall also have a question and answer session. Over to you, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diana. Thank you, my alma mater, Makerere University Business School. Can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
Yes, we hear you very well.
Okay, so why cash flow keeps the light on? I will share a few of my personal experience, but let me start by saying I finished in MOOCs in 2010, graduated in 2011. One of the beautiful things that happened to me from my time in MOOCs is the cohort we finished with, business administration. We had a discussion group for marketing students, and we were 56. So immediately we graduated, we sat together, I think 3 days later after graduation, and we started an investment club. So that investment club, we call it Fun Flame Investment Club. Now, for the last 17 years, Fun Flame has grown. It's now a circle. We now call it Fun Flame Circle. And for the last 17 years, the 56 of us, we have been able to save up to 3.2 billion now. That's how much we have in our circle. So we don't take money from banks. We give each other loans, 1% per month. That is 12% per annum. And that's one of the beautiful things that we started when we left Market University Business School. Who encouraged us? The person who encouraged us is today our PS for Ministry of Finance, Ramadan Gobi, doctor, who was our lecturer back then. And we are very proud of that. So I just wanted to start from that, knowing that my time in moves has helped me a lot also with my business career. But let me come back to the topic. Why cash flow keeps the lights on? In 2016, I had a very good business with a group of friends, two engineers. Engineer Anthony, who was a lecturer at Chambo University, Department of Engineering, and the brother. And then myself. We registered a company called Jobena Engineering. So Jobena Engineering, we were doing stone pitching on road constructions and all of that. And we got a contract from Civicon. They were doing tarmac from the Mbarara Road tarmac. So we were given a portion of the road from Liantonde to Mbarara to do the stone pitching for the drainage system on the roadside. The contract was upwards of 3 billion, but we didn't have money to start. We didn't have the cash flow to do the business. So we started that business on a very rocky ground, very rocky ground. So what we did was to get the certificate of award of contract, went with it to different hardware shops, requested them to give us those materials that we were using on credit, and then we pay later. But that wasn't enough. We needed also some cash to pay the daily workers. So we had to take a loan from one of those small loan giving companies. We call them loan sharks today. But when you get the money, at the time you need the money, you will not call them loan sharks. You only call them loan sharks when you start struggling to pay back. So we got a loan, I think about 200 million at an interest of 20% per month, not on reducing balance. Every month, the interest was 20%. So we started the work. We did the work. We completed the work. Silicon said, you guys, because, okay, I think good business practice is also very important. We went to the bank and the bank had given us a letter of credit to show that, we are liquid. We have money. We can be able to do the project. But honestly, we didn't have the money. So Civicon said they're going to pay after we finish the contract. So, and that's what happened. We finished the contract, the money was paid. But by the time the money was paid, we had gone into so much debt. We had struggled so much with the suppliers. Every single day, phone calls, left, right, and center. Sometimes even have to not pick the calls. You dodge the calls because it was too much. The staff, at some point, they stopped working. They need money to be paid. I'm just trying to give you context as we're talking about why cash flow keeps the lights on. And this, I felt like this story of Joben Engineering is the best story to really give you clarity. I'll tell you, we were not sleeping. Every single day, either my call is being called, or Engineer Anthony's call is being called, or Meth call is being called. So we really struggled through this entire 3 months of doing the stone pitching. Very simple work. The margin could have been well okay. But by the time we finished this project, we didn't even have 200 million shillings to share amongst us because of the exposure that we had to learn. So this gives you the context of why, if you want to do business, a healthy business, cash flow pays the bills today. It doesn't take care of tomorrow's promises. Cash flow pays the bills today. Many business today, we struggle a lot when it comes to salaries. We struggle a lot when it comes to rent. We struggle a lot when it comes to fuel, suppliers, utilities, and all of this. Why? Because we have not clearly established what is our cash flow approach to the business. So that's one of the cases I want to share with you. I'm just going to talk about a few business that I do. And by the way, Joben Engineering later on closed. We couldn't manage it. We closed that business in 2018. The Daniel Choudry Sales Institute, we started it in 2017. The Daniel Choudry Sales Institute right now, we are very lucky to be doing sales training here in Uganda, in Kenya, in Tanzania, in Rwanda, in Ghana, in Zambia, and in Zimbabwe as well, and Malawi. We are also doing, we have a code for sales training that side. But what has helped the Daniel Choudry Sales Institute to thrive is number one, we had to develop multiple products. And this is something that as a businessman, you have to think about. What products gives you what I call low hanging fruits in terms of cash, daily cash? In your business, do you have some products that gives you daily cash, which I call them low hanging fruits? So for the institute, we have books, we have the daily planners. Every single day, my sales team sell about 10, 15 copies of the daily planners at 50,000 shillings each, sometimes 70,000, depending on the market, sometimes 100,000 Uganda shillings, depending on the market. But every single day, those books have to be sold. I've also written another book called The Sales Warriors Creed. We sell those books. We also designed the coaching programs. Some head of sales, they want to be coached on how they can manage their team better, and we get some kind of proceeds from that as well in terms of cash flow. So the Daniel Choudry Sales Institute, of course, have the certificate courses that we do. We have the corporate trainings. We work with all these big organizations, be it Stanbic, be it Centenary Bank, be it Roofings in Uganda here, or be it NSSF, and some other companies, Equity Bank in Kenya, and several others. So, but you see, the corporate training, they're one off and in between. This month you do one or two, next month you do one or two, but rent has to be paid, salaries have to be paid, utility bills have to be taken care of, and stuff like that. So we had to design and find out what can we do so that give us money every single day. So in our institute, we have daily monies, we have weekly monies, we have monthly monies. So the monthly monies, then we have quarterly monies from the certification programs. So we had to design that because at the beginning, it was overwhelming. We were only doing the corporate sales training. The corporate sales training, you get two in a month. And then rent takes out a lot of it. Salaries takes a lot of it. And before you know it, the money is gone. So it's very important that as a businessman, you set out your business to know that this product here makes me daily monies. We need the daily monies. Somebody said, I think it's the CEO of Nvidia. He said, sales is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash flow is reality. That cash flow takes care of your daily reality. So it's very important for all of us business people to think about what gives us money on a daily basis. The second thing I want to talk about this morning, in as far as cash flow being putting you on the light, is cash flow. A healthy cash flow gives you peace, and it also helps you to make decision making, make good decision making without pressure. I have been building an hotel in Kidgum. If I could just put a picture up, let me see if it's allowed. I've been building this hotel in Kidgum for the last since 2011. Since 2011, when I left the university, I bought the land in 2011. I've finished this hotel without a loan, not a single loan. What I've been doing is the money that we make, we buy bricks, we put. The money that we make, we put it. We had a hardware shop in Kitgum there where we just deposit our money for cement, for steel rods, for all these things. And slowly by slowly, these are 39 rooms. Now it is open. If you come to Kitgum, there's Legacy Hotels just in Panduong there. Those who know called Kitgum, this is the place that we have put together. But what has helped this hotel to stand today is the cash flow. The daily monies you deposit at the hardware shops. The daily monies you get deposit at the hardware shops. The weekly monies you get you put in the hardware shops. The monthly monies you make you put in the hardware shops. When you have made a bit of a threshold, you get the materials, you bring the contractors on site, they do something, and you continue like that, and you continue like that, and you continue like that. And this has been the model that I have personally used. Now the Legacy Hotel is standing, and now it's able to give us even better cash flow because of the route of the tourists going to the depot. Right now, it's booked very well. And we thank God for that. So, but the hotel stood for one reason: the daily cash flows from the Daniel Choudry Sales Institute, the daily cash flows from the legacy Airbnb. I started doing Airbnbs in Kampala here in 2019. I rent a house, I furnished it, I put it out as Airbnb. And my occupancy rate was very good. In a month, the occupancy rate is 21 days. Out of the 30 days or 31 days, 21 days is occupied at 150,000 shillings. It was a decent business. Actually, 2019, 2020 were almost the kings of the Airbnbs in Kampala here. But now, of course, many people have picked up. So for me, as a business person, you have to think about what gives me daily money. Because a lot of us start thinking, I need to do this big project. I want to put this big hotel. I want to put this big farm. But if you do not have money on a daily basis, I promise you one thing, you will struggle because cash flow reduces the stress and it increases your strategic thinking. And this is what is very important for all of us. When you have cash flow, your stress levels go down, your ability to strategically think improves and increases. So for me, that's a very fundamental thing why every single day you think, how can I make money daily? How can I make money weekly? How can I make money monthly? How can I make money quarterly? How can I make money, like Bitatori used to say, how can I make it, what can I do to make money in 10 years? I see a lot of people planting trees. I'm not the guy who will plant trees. I need money every single day. So you have to think about the things that you do to make money daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. For me, maximum is quarterly. Because beyond that, unless you have a really, really strong capital saved somewhere, then you can do something massive. Another business that we are into now is distribution. We do distribution of PK, the chewing gum. We do distribution for soft styles Pampers in northern Uganda and West Nile. So the entire West Nile, we distribute the Pampers for the babies. We distribute the PK, and we started with one Pro box. I just bought one Pro box and then I put it in Kitgum, and we started with the PK. So the PK business started doing very well. Every carton you sell, you make maybe a margin of about 60,000 shillings. Today, we have 7 tuk-tuk motorbikes for distribution, and we have about 5 of the Pro box. But it started with the one Pro box and selling just the PK. Of course, now we have expanded into the Pampers. Hopefully, we hope to go to China and get another partner so can give us some products. But here's the thing: every single day, think of what can I do for my business to make the daily money. Because this is what I'm trying to say: that poor cash flow destroys a good business idea. If you have a very good business idea, but you don't have cash flow, then you find that you have to now mix your personal income, your personal upkeep with the business money. And I'll say, I think I was smart enough right from the beginning when I started this business that I'm doing. I set myself a standard that Daniel, take a salary. At the beginning, it was very difficult. Daniel, take a salary. So I take a salary. At the beginning, I started with a salary of about 800,000. Of course, now we get a bit more salaries. So from my salaries, I'm able to invest in some of these personal projects. But also the monthly, my dividends is not paid at the end of the year with my shareholders. We have decided to divide. If in that month we have made money, the dividends is given to us at the end of the month. So we can be able to think of where am I going to put this money? Where am I going to put this money? And all of this kind of thing. So I want to encourage all the business people on the call now. If you want to do a very thriving business, poor cash flow management will destroy even your most brilliant idea. If you cannot manage the monies you have, growth without cash flow is almost close to impossible. Growth, I want to tell you that growth without cash flow is close to impossible. It destroys all your brilliant ideas. It destroys your confidence. By the way, when you do not have cash flow, your confidence goes down. You start doubting yourself. Start saying, does this thing really work? And then you start questioning so many things. And that's one of the biggest problems that I see us in businesses we struggle with. What cash flow has given me from the multiple businesses that I do, it has given me stability with the many staff that I have across the few business that I've so far started. I'm very stable. It has also helped me to put structures. And this is something that I learned from my mentor, Professor Waso Matama, Rogers Matama. So Professor used to tell me, Daniel, just make sure that the accountant that you put is an accountant. Don't control everything they do. So I have Isabella, my accountant is called Isabella. I'm a Biona, a very wonderful lady from Mitoma district. And Isabella managed this entire business. She's one accountant who handles all the businesses. She takes care of the tax, she takes care of the salaries, she takes care of the utility bills, and I trust her. We have an operational account that pays all these utility bills. So all the businesses, we have one operational account where all the businesses contributes to it every month, and we have a standing order on all those accounts to ensure that those operational costs is taken care of. Rent has to be paid, salaries have to be paid on time, utility bills have to be paid on time, cars have to be serviced. I think one of our biggest exposure is for the distribution business because we have to repair cars every day. The driver will call you at about 10 p.m. and tell you we are stuck. The car got spoiled in the middle of nowhere, and the car is carrying stock worth 100 million. So you cannot say, okay, you sleep there, and then tomorrow you will go. No, because they can be attacked, and all those products are stolen, and then things become bad. So I thank God that because of people like Isabella, because of people like Bonnie that I have in the team, they are very disciplined with money, and they also keep me disciplined. Sometimes I want to take money for my own usage, but I said, boss, we need to manage this money this way. We need to manage this money this way. So it's very important you have people who call you out as well. Because one of the biggest problems with us entrepreneurs, we are one man do all. You have 100 million on the account, you start thinking of the multiple things you can do. If you don't have somebody to tell you, don't do this now, maybe we need to manage this way. Then oftentimes you find that the arrogance and the pride get in the way, and you're not able to build a business that is sustainable. So I want to encourage as we go towards the conclusion of this conversation, cash flow is the oxygen for your business survival. Cash flow, daily cash flow, is the oxygen for your business survival. Without it, every day you're stressed. Mind you, we are not only businessmen. You're also a husband. You're also a parent. You're also a son or a daughter. And all these different things that you have to do with your life, you have to do them well. But if all the time you're stressed because of cash flow challenges, then how are you able to, do all these things properly? So I want to encourage all of us. If you want to do business well, the first thing is separate the personal money from the business money. If you have to take the salary, take the salary. And this is not something you're hearing for the first time. And let me tell you, entrepreneurs, there's nothing so difficult as an entrepreneur that has money to be told what to do with their money. So if you cannot separate the personal and the business money, you will always go back. You will be having this rat race, this cycle of today I have money, tomorrow I don't have money. Today I have money, tomorrow I don't have money. Today I have money. So for me, the best thing I've done is to ensure that people like Isabella are there to help me. People like Bonnie are there to help me. People like John is there to help me. John manages our fleet management and all of that for the distribution business. So separate your personal and business money. And by the way, my grandfather used to say something very interesting when he was alive. Back in 2006, I was a young man in senior six. He said, "My son, when you make money today, let it first sleep at home. You can think of spending it tomorrow. Start spending it tomorrow. If you make any money today, even if it's 20,000 shillings, let that money first sleep at home." I think what he was trying to drive at with that statement was when you keep the money and you sleep over it, you are able to think much more clearly what are the core priorities that I have to take care of. And then if you have a person like I do have Isabella, she's able to send me an email on a weekly basis. What are the core priorities that need to be taken care of? And why we should take care of it? What can we delay paying? Because all this is very important in terms of cash management. I've noticed something with a lot of young people who start business today. They get into debt, and the money that comes next, they want to settle the debt, all of it. And then when they settle the debt, all of it, they're back to zero. What they do again is what? Borrow. And then they're back in debt again. And then when this debt becomes pressure, when they get some bit of windfall and money, they want to settle all the debt again, and then they're back to zero. And they are in that kind of vicious cycle. Are we together, guys? I hope we are we are following. I don't want to be talking to myself. Are we okay? Hello?
Yes, we are okay. We are okay and we are following. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So that's the first thing. Separate personal and business money. This is very important. The second thing is track your weekly cash inflows and outflows. Track your monies. I learned this from Sudhir. I think Sudhir gave a talk to Pakasa in Kampala Parents back in 2018. I attended that talk. Actually, I think I also gave a talk that day on sales. So Sudhir said he wakes up at about 5 in the morning, and between 5 and 7 a.m., he knows from all of his businesses what monies came in and what monies left his business. And for me, Sudhir, of course, Sudhir is Sudhir. He has all these multiple businesses. And if a man of that stature makes sure he gets to understand how much money comes in and how much money leaves his business every single day, then who are we who are still young in this journey of business to not do the same? Recently, Charles Mbire also gave a talk, I think through NSSF or something, and he said similar things. And then I also read a book called Think Big by Femi Otedola. Femi Otedola is one of the richest Nigerians there is. I want to encourage all the entrepreneurs on the call. Buy that book. It's an Aristo. Think Big by Femi Otedola. Femi Otedola is worth $7 billion now. He provides 30% of the power, of the electricity power in Nigeria with his businesses. And he says every morning he wakes up, because he was into diesel, he was selling diesel, then he went into money lending, he went into banking, now he's into power generation. He talks about tracking your daily money, tracking your inflows, tracking your outflows. And don't tire, ladies and gentlemen, don't tire from tracking your inflows and your outflows. And manage money. For me, I have a app. It's called Cash Management app. It's on my phone. Even if I bought data of 5,000, I'll write it. Even if I bought a chapati over 1,000 on the side of the road, I write it on this app. Because at the end of the week, I want to know how much money left my pocket. Somebody said, Daniel, you're becoming very frugal. You're a member of SMAO, the Stingy Men Association. But you see, if you don't manage it, then you cannot expect it to grow. And for me, these are things that I've learned from the people like Sudhir, people like Charles Mbire, people like Femi Otedola in his book Think Big, which I encourage you to buy. So track them, and then build an emergency cash reserve for your business. I think that's very important. All of us need to build an emergency cash reserve for the business, not for your family. For your family, you also need it, but for your business, you need some money that in case there is a little bit of a challenge like what happened in 2020, 2021, COVID, I was able to keep 4 of my staff. By that time I had 30 staff, but I was able to keep 4 of my staff to keep the boat afloat. But I had to pay them. Where was the money coming from? From this emergency cash reserve. And I learned this from Elon Musk. When Elon Musk sold PayPal, he invested all the money in SpaceX, because he started SpaceX in about 2005. So when he sold PayPal, they gave him about 110, I think, $million. He said, I saved 20 million shillings. So when SpaceX was almost running down, at least they had that emergency fund, that emergency cash of 20 million. And he was able to slowly pick himself up. And part of that money, he used it to recruit some of the best brains. And before other people came in, and in America and those developed countries, they're able to crowdfund or use all those different angel investors to come in. But before that, you need some emergency fund. For us in Uganda here, it's Jua Kale business. You either have cash or you don't. No one is coming to save you. So it's very important that every single time you make money, during your rainy days, you can be able to. Our emergency fund is 15%. Of every money we make every month, we put 15% on the emergency fund. Now, that emergency fund is actually still our money. We can use it anytime, but we keep it there. It's a discipline that helps us know that if the money is getting and we have to go into the emergency fund, maybe we need to pick up the tempo in terms of the effort we put in the business. So it's very critical. And I want to encourage all the entrepreneurs in the room, if it's possible, reduce unnecessary debt. Actually, there are two fronts of it. Reduce unnecessary debt, but also reduce unnecessary credit sales. Because if you have a lot of debtors who owe you and you're calling and are not paying you, you'll get. If you have a lot of debt that you've borrowed, loans, and then people are calling you to pay their money, it totally overwhelms you. So for me, one of the things that I have decided to do is live within my means. Of course, that is something that all of us will hear every single day. Live within your means. I love living the good life. I love driving the nice cars. I love living, I love the good life. But at what cost? I would love to buy a watch of $2,000 because I love watches. But for what? I would love to own an iPhone 17. I can afford it, but 6 million for what? You know? So it's really, I would rather have my Samsung phone. It's 1.8 million shillings. It does the work and all of this. So it's very important you you reduce unnecessary debt, but also reduce unnecessary credit sales. So for the distribution business, we have Kanya Kanya. We call it Kanya Kanya distributors. Kanya Kanya is an actually word meaning persevere. So that's the name of our distributor business, Kanya Kanya distributors. So in Kanya Kanya distributors, we do not give our Pampers on credit. We do not give our PK on credit. I would rather, as a B2B partner, buy few of my products than order for many cartons or many boxes and you don't pay me. And next week I call you and you said, I still don't have money, yet you've made sales. So we have made it very intentional not to sell on credit, but we have also made it very intentional that even when we want to buy more cars, the truth is we need more cars. We need some trucks now. The Pro boxes are not working. Some of the roads during this rainy season, it's impassable with our Pro boxes. We need trucks. But we said, can we take a loan? And I have a lot of friends wanted to take loans from our circle, from FunFlame. I wanted to take loans from some of my friends, Maro Credit or Goldmine Finance. I have a lot of friends in the system, or at Centenary Bank and all of this. But it's like, why? Do we really need the money now? And we agreed with a few of my shareholders. Let's not take the loan. Let's build the cash so that in July we buy one truck, and then in September we buy another truck. So every single day I'm putting my team on fire for the distribution. Let's make the money. We gave ourselves a target, and every single day everybody is doing what they need to do to ensure that we bridge that gap of having the money to buy the truck without taking a loan. Now, our supplier from the bond has agreed that if we pay 60%, they'll give us the truck, and then the rest of the money will pay slowly. Now, that can be managed. So it's very important that you reduce unnecessary debt and unnecessary credit sales. Because some of you said, it's good to be owed. I remember in one of my lectures, I don't know whether it's Professor Zaza or I don't know, but it was still at moves. I think you remember they taught us that a business that is not owed money is a small business. I remember that's what I said. That it's good as a business person for people to owe you money, but to what extent? That's very important because some of you, a lot of your money is out there. You have money, but it's not here with you in cash, and you're struggling. You need to pay the rent, you need to pay the salaries, but your money is out, is stuck. Somebody is not paying you. Why? Because you allowed a lot of unnecessary credit sales. And then I am about to conclude. What else do I want to say? Control your lifestyle, of course. There's what we call lifestyle inflation. I don't drink alcohol. I don't go out. My life is pretty uh, go to work, get in my car, go home. One of the things I've done well is learning from Professor Waso Balunya. When I go to his Garuga home, I always find peace because of the library, the study. So in my house also, I decided to put a study. One of the things I find a lot of peace is go to my study, play my classical music, Andrea Bocelli and the rest of it, read a nice book, and tomorrow do it again. Go and work tirelessly, come home. So you need to control what we call lifestyle inflation. You want to show your friends, I have this, I have that, I'm very powerful. They don't need to see. They don't need to know. They don't even care. They're trying to run their own lives. So it's very important that you also run your own life. So I want to say this in conclusion, that revenue is a very important aspiration. Profit, when you start doing your projections, profit is a theory that can excite you. But the question is, what is your fact? The fact is you either have cash today or you don't. And if you don't have cash today, your level of confidence can never best mine who has cash. So when my confidence is high, I can make better decisions as compared to you. So cash flow gives you the life for your business. It keeps the lights on. So I thought maybe this sharing from my business experiences and everything that we're still doing to move forward. Maybe one or two of you have picked something from it. I hope you have. But I want to yield my time back to you, Dr. Dan and Tam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Choudry. We are very grateful for your sharing with us your experience, especially on this important topic of why cash flow keeps the lights on. We can see why we need to have cash flow all the time. And we've picked from your experience. You've shared with us. We feel now we are energized to move forward in our businesses. I was attracted by your beginning story, where when you were graduates, the 56 of you formed an investment club, which grew to a circle that is which has grown now. I've seen in the chat there's a question. I think you'll be able to answer it where she's asking, where did you raise the money from? I can see that we've picked a lot. The benefits of having cash flow. Cash flow pays bills on a daily basis. And you are encouraging us to have different product lines or different areas of operation, which will help us to bring in cash flow on maybe on a daily basis. You've given us encouragement to have different operations, which will help us to have money on a daily basis. It's not easy to grow without cash flow, because if you don't have cash flow, the different challenges, financial challenges, will give you stress. Cash flow benefits can be, among others, stability. You can be able to think of new business ideas, and you need to have people who can help you to take rightful financial decisions, and you have to develop a financial discipline. We've picked a lot from you, but I would like to give this chance to people to share or ask questions so that they have further interaction with you. I would like to invite Sarah Mirembe Rukakamwa to guide the Q&A. Sarah, please.
Thank you so much, our host, Dr. Basalira. Good morning, everyone on the call. Thank you for joining us this morning. Daniel, thank you so much for the excellent and insightful session that you've shared with us. We appreciate that. Friends on the call have been introduced. My name is Sarah Mirembe Lukakama, and I'll be taking you through Q&A. Please feel free to send in your questions so that Daniel can respond to them in the Q&A session. If you want to raise your electronic hand, if you want to speak to us directly, please, you can still raise your hand. In the chat, people are appreciating you. And we have Shamira says, please, you pardon the book for the Nigerian writer, the book I think you shared. You either, Daniel, send it in the chat again so that people can get it. And then we have Jeremiah. Good morning, members. Thank you, Daniel, for the very insightful shared. As 56 fresh graduates, what was your source of income to start and maintain your circle? Hope, yeah. That's from Jeremiah. And then from Fred. Boss, I badly needed to hear this. I'll share this. Yeah. Yes, Fred, we are going to share also our recordings after Daniel's presentations. And then from Justus, thank you for the experience. I'm in retail beverage business. However, taxes are killing my business. How do you do about it? Daniel, maybe you can respond to that as we go on. Thank you. Daniel.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for that. And guys, thank you for the kind words you're writing on the group. So how did the 56 of us start the circle? We didn't start it as 56. We were 21 who were working already. So the 21 of us started. And then the others kept joining. Now we are 56 in total. So we started with only those of us who are having some kind of cash flow. We were having some bit of salary, some source of income. And we kept on adding members of our group. And now we have grown to 56. Some of the 56, we are all students of MOOCs, all of us. Like we finished in 2010. We call ourselves the golden generation. Interestingly, most of us who finished in 2010, we are placed very well. We are working in decent organizations, and by God's grace, we're very thankful for that. But we are very intentional. Some of us, when I was at Moves, I was I worked at the entrepreneurship center there. Dr. Dan Tama will tell you, I struggled with tuition. She used to give me to sell the short courses. After that, I got a job as assistant storekeeper at Capital Shoppers in 2008. So my lectures was from 8 a.m. to midday. I was assistant storekeeper at Capital Shoppers from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And in my third year, I got a job again, still through the entrepreneurship center, to work in the call center, MTN call center in plot 77, opposite Garden City there. So I used to work the graveyard shift. So from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., I was doing the graveyard shift in plot 77, contact center. 8 a.m. to midday, I was attending lectures. 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., I was assistant storekeeper in Hope because I funded my own tuition. And by God's grace, I had very good mentors. Dr. Danan Tama is one of them. Professor Rogers Matama is another one. Because I used to feel sorry for myself. My background is a really rough background. I was in LRA. I was abducted as a child when I was 12 years old in 1999. My life was very rough. My mom really didn't have much. I don't know my father, never met him. Up to today, I've not met my father, though he's alive. So the background that I came up with gave me all the reasons to give excuses, gave me all the reasons to feel pity for myself. But Professor Rogers Matama really changed my mind towards life. He used to say, I'm the luckiest person because of the experiences I've gone through. At the beginning, I didn't understand it. But later on, the more I interface with him, he's still my mentor today. The more I interface with him, the more that point started making sense. And the more I started taking my life by the scruff of its neck. And no wonder today I'm able to do everything that I'm doing because my experience as a child soldier now taught me that when the going get tough, you have to have a thick skin. Don't blame anyone. Don't have pity for yourself and all of that. So I'm somebody with a very strong mentality. I have this mental toughness that very few people can reach. Where people stop, that's where most of the time I start. And that's a huge competitive advantage. So a few of us were already working, myself and 21 others, Justus, Moses, Dominic, Patrick, many of us were already working, Florence. So we are the core team, Moses, Odokonyero. So the 21 of us were already working and we were able to build the circle and we're able to add the rest of the team in. And today we have upwards of 3 billion shillings. And like I said, we give money to each other. Those who want to marry, the circle will marry your wife. You don't have to even pick a penny unless you just want to. So we have built this community. Monthly we meet. Every month we meet. And we don't meet in hotels. We meet in each other's homes. Today I host. Next time another person hosts. As long as you have a big compound at home, we can come to your home. We put a tent. And it's also another way of us bonding. Our children play together. We give guidance to each other and stuff like that. I'll tell you, it's one of the best groups that I have today. Okay. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for able responding to that. Then you also still take more three, and then you respond to them. We have a comment from Moses and a question. Thank you, Daniel, for the presentation. Throw more light for the SMEs, tendency of expenditure at the source given the small cash sales. And then how many, okay, from Shamira, how have you maintained the 56 member circle? And then thank you, Daniel, please. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Daniel. Please enlighten us more on the best marketing tools for strategies. And then one last more. I am running a restaurant. You're encouraging us to limit credit sales. You encourage us to limit credit sales. What advice do you give us on offering catering services, which is paid at the end of the month? Daniel?
Yeah, thank you. Let me start by answering the person who asked about they have an SME and they're struggling with the little sales. So I'll tell you this. I have a sales team. In Uganda here, I have a sales team. There are 6. We have systemized the way we prospect. We have systemized. We have directories from private sector foundation, I'm talking about the Sales Institute in this case. We have directors from Private Sector Foundation Uganda. We have directors from Uganda Hotel Owners Association. We have directors of Uganda Manufacturers Association. We have a director from Yellow Pages. We have gotten database. Every single day we're trying to increase our database. Every day, my sales team, every one of them, is baseline. Baseline is the minimum activities you do per day. Every single day, my sales team in my office, you have to make 30 phone calls as the bare minimum, prospecting calls, qualification calls, 30 phone calls a day. You have to send about 20 emails a day. You have to follow up on 30 potential customers you spoke to last week today. You have to seek for 10 referrals a day. You have to at least sell 5 books a day. You have to try to sell the sales program. Every week, you must get one sales training for a corporate organization every week, worth at least $1,000. That is a non-negotiable. It's baseline. So if you want your SME to grow, you must systemize activity management. Activity comes before results. But unfortunately, oftentimes we start looking for results. We need the money, we need the revenue. But where does the revenue come from? It's from the relentless activity. So we have systemized activity that as long as you work at the Daniel Choudry Research Institute, there is a systemic way of how you do things. Actually, for those who are coming to work for me new, those sales who are coming to work for me new, every single day you have to make 100 phone calls. You know why that is possible? Because when I was working at the MTN contact center, we used to do about 200 phone calls in the night. 200 phone calls plus with quality. But so that gives me the mindset that making 100 phone calls a day is easy. Actually, in 3 hours, you finished it. So I'm very good at pumping up my sales team to make sure that they believe that this phone call can be done and they can make the calls with enthusiasm, with depth and knowledge. And they've picked up on my energy because when I sit to make the calls, I'm the hardest worker in the room. So they pick up the energy from me. So you, as the owner of the SME, you are the general. I always tell people there is nothing like a bad soldier, only a bad general. If you're not a good general, you're going to lead your soldiers into battle. When they're not well equipped, they will be killed. And in this case, the business will be killed. But if you're a good general, you know the strategy, you know the technical know-how, you know what to do. You tell your soldiers, let's shoot like this, let's do like this. And when they see that when you do it is working, it elevates their confidence. And when they do it themselves, they also see results. So I'm very strict about activity in my business, be it for the distribution business. Everything, if you take a route, every retail outlet must be visited. Every supermarket must be visited. Every pharmacy must be visited. And I want you to come and tell me how many retail outlets is on that route. You need to come and tell me how many supermarkets on that route. How many of them are already buying from us? The ones that are not buying from us, why? There are days when I put on my military gadget, go on the street, and I go to convince those people who are not yet buying from us our PK, our Pampers. Some of them want credit sales. I'm able to convince them to start small. Even if you give me 50,000, but you pay me cash, it's better off than me giving you 500,000 in credit, and then I start struggling to collect it. So it's about activity management. If you want to build a good business, it's about the quantity and the quality of the activity. A lot of us don't pay attention to that, and that's why our businesses struggle. Make sure that the quantity and the quality of the activity is on point. Somebody's asking about marketing strategy. So I will say this: the best marketing strategies work this way. 60% of marketing is about visibility. So find ways of how you can create visibility for your business. 60% of why people buy from you is because they see you, because you're visible. If you are not visible, then I can't buy from you. Obscurity is killing a lot of businesses today. That be visible in the right ecosystem of your ideal customer. Be visible. Secondly, be credible. That yes, you have already done well with visibility. I've seen you. Credibility is that when I give you a chance, you do exactly what you say you do. If you are a restaurant owner and you do outdoor catering, if I've now seen you and I've given you a chance to come and give us food, make sure that food is the best food ever. Like lock me in. When you give, I always go to companies and I give pro bono talks. My way of selling this sales training to corporate companies is give me 30 minutes with your sales people. If you want not to give me a business. If you do not want me to train your salespeople, do not call me to come and give the pro bono talk. Because if I come to give you the pro bono talk, you will give me money. I make sure that that pro bono talk is so good. I make sure that I research well. I relate to your organization. I speak what really makes sense to your people. And when they go and apply it, it works. So now you say, okay, now Daniel, we need to give you money. So it's very important that when you're given an opportunity, be credible. Credibility is about the technical know-how. Because a lot of us will start business on the basis of bandwagon effect, on the basis of fake it until you make it. I am actually a really good salesperson. I'm a really, really good salesperson. When I go on the street, I am ferocious, I'm tenacious, I'm crazy. But and then I'm also a sales trainer because I utilize whatsoever I've done and I give it to the people and it works. So credibility is very important. So focus on visibility, number one. Focus on credibility, number two. Quality over quantity. Be so good at what you do, the world cannot resist you. One of my mantra is this: be exceptional, and the world will listen. The world doesn't care whether you come from Kitgum or from Lamour, my village in Padibe. The world doesn't care whether I don't know my father. When you offer quality solutions in the marketplace, the world will listen and pay you for it. And I'm a living testimony to that. I'll tell you every single day. Then when visibility is good, credibility is good, profitability becomes easy. Profitability is now revenue, is now all that you're looking at. But unfortunately, every single day, a lot of us will focus on profitability. Guys, you need to make money. Guys, you need to make money. Guys, you need to push. But are you visible in the right ecosystem? Are you credible when you've been given a chance, even one time? Then why are you complaining about profitability when you've not done those two things properly? So visibility contributes to 60% of why people buy. Credibility contributes to 30% of why people buy. Profitability, your focus on sales and all of these only contributes to 10%. But unfortunately, we spend 80% of our time seeking for profitability without clear visibility parameters, without clear credibility on what you are supposed to do. I hope I've given you good answers on that. Back to you, Sarah.
Yeah, sure, you've done that. Thank you so much, Daniel. We have more questions and then we close our Q&A. From Honorable Roy, why can a profitable business still shut down if it runs out of cash? What is the difference between profit and cash flow, and why does cash flow matter more day to day? And then, does family disunity bring someone down in business? Then from Betty, very inspiring background and might breakthrough. Thank you, Professor Matama Rogers, for mentoring such a great destiny. Thank you, Betty. And then from HK, what's the baseline to turn down a client who might hesitantly plead for a credit sale?
Just say no.
Yes.
Just say no. Like, just say no. There's no other way to it. Just say no. That is what Warren Buffett said. Warren Buffett says, say no 90% of the time. Just say yes 10%. And if yes is the right yes, is the 10% is enough to keep the business running. So I'm not going to answer that in any special way. I want to answer this person of tax. I struggle with tax myself, but like I said, you need to ask somebody who knows tax. We are struggling with tax in so many ways because of lack of knowledge, because of ignorance. Paying tax, actually, when you have somebody who understands it, you find that you're paying very little tax. There are so many concessions that URA can give with the right knowledge. So many concessions, so many overrides because of the withholding tax that they give, and so many things. So I think we shouldn't fear tax. I think you should put your house in order. At the beginning, I had an assessment. I think for the sales institute, at one point, I had an assessment of 45 million. It was a speculative assessment. It wasn't the facts. But when I brought a tax consultant, that assessment came down to, I think, about 2.8 million shillings. From 45 million, it comes down to 2.8 million shillings. Because URA, if you don't declare, if you don't do your monthly I don't know what it's called. Isabella does most of these things. If you don't do your monthly assessment and tax reporting, then they will just give you a speculative assessment. So it's important that you file your tax every month. If you don't do your monthly filing, that's why you get into trouble. I don't know how many times we have filed nil returns in my companies, in some of my companies, There are so many times we have filed nil returns, but we have filed. When URA see that you're active in the system, they will respect that. But when this month you didn't file, next month you didn't file, 6 months you file, and then you stay for long, then you become a person of interest to them. And when you become a person of interest, they can now start okay, this person here. The other day we got withholding tax of this much. You know, the thing is, if you are already in the tax system, if you have a tax identification number, you cannot escape from URA, especially if you're going to deal with professional companies that need you to put your TIN number and they want to take tax. Eventually, you will be on the dashboard of URA. So it's very important that you file your taxes monthly, and that will really help you moving forward. I hope I've answered this question talking about justice. So
yes,
just
yes,
make sure
yes.
that, yeah. Clara, which other very important question should I answer?
Okay, the very important question is someone is saying has been having challenges challenges with the customers who do not want to pay, I think, his or her goods, and then can surplus money earned today work as a cash inflow tomorrow on a bad day with no cash inflows? How can I sustain my working capital and grow the business? I think that's all, Danielle.
Guys, listen, cash flow is king.
Yeah.
I can't stop by saying that. You must make sure you find ways of your business making daily monies. Daily money. My daily monies now is very healthy. But you see this daily money that we get from the field, even if the profit is 10% or 15%, your business is healthy. Okay? What you want to know is that your cost of operations is not too much. You have to manage that. If your cost of operation is higher than the money that comes into the business, then maybe you need to cut some costs. If it is rent, cut it down. If you have too many employees, maybe you need to reduce the number. You must at any one point have 25% margin on your business after paying all the operational costs as a bare minimum. Every month, your business must at least make 25% more money than the operational cost that you have in the business. That's a fairly healthy business. Of course, the professors that we have on the call will tell you probably even more than that. But just from the street smart perspective, if at least every month there's a margin of 25% that you keep after you paid the rent, you paid the salaries, you paid the suppliers, you paid everything, it's important that that 25% exists, because that 25% now can give you a bit of salary. Oh, no, your salary is actually taking care of the operation cost. The 25% can give you something to think about. It makes you plan. What else can I do? How can I take it from 25% to 40%? How can I take it from 40% to 50%? Now, a lot of businesses who are doing 50% margin on their business, they are very healthy business, but it starts from 25%. So it's important that the operational cost is managed so that after you've spent all on operations, you still have 25% of the margin left in cash that is on your account, on your bank account, or wherever you keep your money. That's very important. Somebody's talking about low sales. For me, the answer to that is just make more money, expand on where you sell. If there is anything that I've learned over the years, is that every single day expand rather than contract. I'm thinking of recruiting more salespeople. As a matter of fact, in Uganda alone, I want to have 100 salespeople. In Kenya, I want to have 100 salespeople. If you have mastered your business, if you have known how your business makes money, expand, don't contract. Contraction is risk aversion. It is fear. Expansion is you've mastered the business, you know how your business make money, and you just go for it. So that anybody who comes to work for you, you have the blueprint that Sarah, you're coming to work for Daniel Choudry Sales Institute in the sales department. This is the blueprint. If you want to make it here, these are the things you have to do. This is the script you have to use. This is how you're going to follow up. This is how you're going to seek for referrals. This is how you're going to send emails. Like, I have a blueprint that I can recruit as many people as possible, and in about 1 week, I can make you start making for me money. And I have the discipline, one discipline that is very important, and I want to tell all of you entrepreneurs. A lot of you are recruiting people who are not giving you money. For me, if I give you 20,000 of my money, listen to this carefully. I see my good friend Choudry is here. If I give you 20,000 shillings, just 20,000 shillings of my money, I will make you work for it. I will make you work for my 20,000. Because listen, I know what you should do. I see Henry is on the call. I know what you should do, and I will tell you what you should do, and I will observe whether you're doing it or not. But if you're not doing it, I'll tell you. But before you leave me, you must have made my 20,000 shillings back. But I see a lot of entrepreneurs, you recruit people, they come to your business, they are earning salaries every month, they are giving you 0 shillings. What are you doing? You're killing yourself. Whoever comes to work for you, you better make them work. Don't say, I've recruited you, please go and work. No, they don't know how to, they don't know what to do. You know your business more than anyone. You know how to bring customers more than anyone. Show them how they can bring you money and demand accountability from them every single day, every single hour of every day, if that's what it takes. But if you give anybody a salary, make them work. Don't tell them to work. Make them work. Show them how to work and demand absolute relentless accountability. No excuses. Extreme ownership. Everybody that comes to work for you must take extreme ownership. Otherwise, cut the losses quickly and get people who can be able to deliver. I think that's my concluding remarks. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you so much for ably responding to all these questions, Daniel. We truly appreciate the valuable insights and the knowledge you've shared with us this morning. Friends on call, the recordings will be shared after this session. And then I would like to appreciate I would like to appreciate each and everyone who has attended, who has been on this call. Thank you so much. We appreciate you people. Let's meet next week, same time. And then a minute. Someone asked, I think Daniel wanted your contact. Daniel will share it with us in the chat, please. Because of time, allow me to stop here. Thank you so much once again. May God bless you all. And back to you, Dr. Basalira.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for managing Q&A. And I would like to appreciate our presenter, Mr. Daniel Choudry. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for finding time in your busy schedule to come and talk to us and talk to the different entrepreneurs. We've learned a lot. We've picked a lot from you. I like your closing remarks. Make people work. Make them work because you are paying them. Tell them what to do. It is very important. They should give accountability. Thank you so much. You've picked a lot. We've learned a lot from you. Issues of visibility of the business, issues of credibility are key. You need to focus on quality. We've picked all these. We'd like to appreciate you and thank you once again for responding to different questions that have been raised and the different comments. I know we have learned a lot. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. And on behalf of Makerere University Business School, Entrepreneurship Innovation and Incubation Center, I would like to thank you very much. Thank you. I know we will again engage you sometime in future and we'll keep learning from you. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody who has logged on this morning. Thank you very much. Please remember to log on again next Thursday, same time. We'd like to wish you a blessed Thursday and I would like to end it here. We've gone beyond the top of the hour. We'd like to end here. Have a blessed Thursday. Bye-bye for now.